Are you concerned about Brady? I mean, he has finished
Very
season
concerned.
poorly. So yeah, give me your take on the Patriots, Corey.
I he needs Gronk to come back. For whatever reason, he just isn't throwing any touchdowns. I guess they're kind of saving him, I don't know, in the red zone, or they don't want him to make too many mistakes, or I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't feel like his confidence is high enough. I have no idea, but he's just not getting any passing touchdowns, and it's killing me.
So Gronk's having a bad year.
Yeah, he's been literally invisible. So I'm excited for Gronk to come back. Apparently, he's supposed to come back this week. Hopefully, that should help things with Brady. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Mo and I discussed having, there's game scripts and there's season scripts, and I feel that Gronk has been slowly preserved for this part of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we've heard the last from Gronk this year. Like I was saying to Mo, I think he's either going to be a league winner or he's going to be on IR in like 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah, I'm thinking IR because he's been hurt all season. I traded him in my other league with Aaron Rodgers.
You traded him away.
Yeah, I traded Gronk and Aaron Rodgers and Deion Lewis for Julio Jones and Saquon Barkley and believe it or not, Blake Bortles. But I just wanted to 3-on-3 because it's a PPR league and Saquon Barkley just exploded last week and Julio Jones. If I added the points and those guys get more points, but Rodgers and Gronkowski have better names. I'm looking at the points.
So give me, because look, I mean, everyone loves Saquon so far. What's your take on Saquon 10 games into his career? And people are already comparing him to Todd Gurley and as like a top 3 RB. I mean, Ian, are you buying that right now?
I'm buying that Le'Veon Bell, Saquon Barkley, and Gurley are the best 3 running backs in the league. Yeah.
Corey, would you agree with that top 3?
I think, Jeff's a Kareem Hunt owner. I'd maybe throw Kareem Hunt in there too. But yeah, I think that's a good top 3 with a Kareem Hunt, maybe a 3B or a 4.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's fair to bring up Le'Veon Bell. I traded him away to you, Corey, maybe 5-6 weeks ago. I did not anticipate this. This was a situation that I was in desperate shape. We were going 0-3, and you decided to take on the risk. And so, look, I mean, what's your thought on Le'Veon Bell? I mean, you're going to keep him, Corey, or what's happening here?
Yeah, the plan's to keep him. Looking back, I probably made a hasty decision. It's not the end of the world because I have receiver depth to be able to keep up. At the time, I was willing to take a risk. I needed running back help badly. And I had both Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. And I just anticipate it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, but I would imagine that there's going to be a decline to Antonio and a rise to Juju in the next year or so. So if there was a prospect of me keeping one of them and then adding a stud running back, it was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up on at the time.
Yeah. I do remember on this podcast, Ian did tell me that he saw the Juju Smith rise when he was on with us. Ian, do you remember talking about how Juju was going to kind of overtake Antonio?
Now that you mentioned it, yeah, I just thought that I wanted to draft him this year in every league, and I missed him in every single league that I want to draft him in. He's just big, he's fast, he's strong, and but Antonio Brown I have him in another league, and he's caught up in the second half of this season. You can tell that he cried enough to Roethlisberger to get the ball, so that's for sure happening.
Are you guys buying into Gus Edwards? Either of you?
Before the waiver wire, you're asking this, or?
Well, look, I mean, he emerged, and Lamar Jackson, they seem to be the new face of the Ravens. They have a very nice schedule going forward, and I was wondering if he was the guy. Like, who do you guys think might be potential sleeper league winners? Even doesn't have to be Edwards, but are there names that you might suspect? We'll start with Ian.
Well, I think Aaron Jones is looking pretty good on my team. I think that trade's turning out pretty good. Once they gave him the ball and they saw that he's the best running back, he could be one of those running backs that gets the ball 25 times a game, which would be awesome for me if that happens. But sleeper-wise, I don't know. I'm not buying in on Gus Edwards that's a crowded backfield back there.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson's gonna get his head popped off in one of these games. I had Tebow one year, and I ran with Tebow one year in the playoffs. And those guys, they have a real stinker of a game after a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but they're up in the Raiders, so maybe one for the next week it'll be okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, but their schedule is good. It's the Falcons.
Wow.
Just teams that can't play defense. So it might look good for them for a while.
Every team in the NFL this year.
So does defense exist anymore, Ian? Or
I think it's changed. Obviously, we just watched the third highest points per game, points total in the game. I think it's changed. I don't know the stats, but I mean, you can't hit anybody anymore. So yeah, there's going to be more touchdowns.
so okay, well, the Bears have a great defense, and they seem to know how to move the ball. They don't maybe not have as potent as the Rams, and the Bears do play the Rams, I think, either next week or the week after. So that'll be nice. But you don't think a team with like a Vikings or a Bears could beat a Rams team or a Chiefs team?
I think weather can beat a Rams team or a Chiefs team. I think come playoff time, weather is going to play a factor for one of those teams. But if the Rams have home field advantage, I guess it's not going to play that much of a factor. But if they don't, then who knows?
Yeah.
But then they're going to be playing in New Orleans. So Kansas City, maybe. I got to see Mahomes throw a ball in minus 20s to know if that's true or not.
So would you say it could be a Patriot decline this year if the Chiefs and the Patriots are in the AFC finals? Would you predict that right now with the Chiefs? Yeah.
I don't know. Andy Reid's got a poor record when in the playoffs.
He does.
But, I'm hoping they do. I want Andy Reid to win because I grew like an Andy Reid mustache earlier this year, and I want him to win. But I could see I never would count the Pats out, and the Steelers, they can surprise people too.
Yeah. I guess I feel that Gronk is the X factor for the Patriots and for the AFC right now. I think if Gronk is healthy, if he could stay on the field for the next 7-8 weeks, the Patriots could win the Super Bowl again.
But here's the thing, right? You know how the Patriots, Belichick, it's always let's take their best player and take him out of the game. Who do you do that with on the Chiefs?
I would do that to Tyreek Hill.
Then they're gonna still beat them. They have so many weapons, and Mahomes is a super talent. And you can't take Mahomes out of the game unless, Belichick does something evil like the evil empire that they are,
Take someone out of the game. Take him out. Welcome.
Yeah, you could argue the Rams did that. He had 5 turnovers and he still managed to put up 51 points.
And 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, we look, I mean, we know that Gurley was hurt on Monday night. It came out that he had an ankle injury, but teams have been slowing him down because I was talking to Mo. I remember the Eagles shut him down in the playoffs last year because he's not catching the ball. If Gurley's not catching the ball, he could be contained. I mean, do you guys see that at all? I mean, is there a way to stop? I mean, that's the best way to stop the Rams, though.
I think now with all their injuries, there's a problem for the Rams. They don't have as many weapons. So I can see that happening to the Rams, but I can't see the Chiefs being slowed down too much because you stop one guy, they're just going to go to the next guy. And they remind me, like, I'm a Habs fan, of how the Habs are playing hockey this year. They're playing fast. And when you're playing fast, it's hard for the other teams. And when you have as many weapons as they do, then fast is going to screw you in the end.